Today, we're going to talk about property taxes in West Hartford, Connecticut, and how they are determined. Every state does this a little bit differently and has their own kinks, rules, and guidelines. Here in Connecticut, we use something called mill rate and assessed value to determine property taxes. Before I jump in and give you some examples, if you could just click subscribe. I'm committed to providing new videos every week about the town of West Hartford, information about the town, real estate, our market, and just overall trying to help folks like you gain some information who may be thinking about moving here. We get calls, texts, emails all the time from people who watch these videos, who have questions. Don't be shy. My team and I, we are always happy to help. Feel free to reach out. Now let's go take a look. Okay, so this is a past sale that I had here in town. And as I mentioned, West Hartford looks at some, and all of Connecticut, by the way, uses something called a mill rate. Every town has their own mill rate here in Connecticut. They're all different. West Hartford's is 40.92. Okay, that's the mill rate. And every property in Connecticut has an assessed value. The property taxes are determined by multiplying the assessed value times the mill rate, and that will give you the property tax for a specific property. As you can see, it's on this one, it's 13,308. That's how they come up with this number. Now let's dive into this a little deeper, because a lot of times when people see assessed value, they think this is how much the property is worth. That is not what this means. The assessed value is actually 70% of the property's appraised value. Here's the catch: according to the town at the time of the appraisal, right? Now, towns do not do these appraisals every year. They do them every couple of years. Every town's a little different in terms of when they actually go out there and do this, but it's not a yearly thing. And it doesn't reflect value at the time of sale. It's only at the time of the appraisal from the town. So in this particular instance, when the town did this appraisal, the appraisal actually came in at $464,600, and 70% of that is this $325,000 number. So this is not the current value of the property. Don't be fooled by that number. Second thing to know here is, as you can see, this house actually sold for $600,000. We sold at $80,000 over asking price. So the time of sale, the market produced a much higher number than the appraised value. And that's very common with the market going up here. And we do get questions on this sometimes from folks that are looking and analyzing value. And remember, if this appraisal was done 2 years ago, obviously the value is going to be different today. Whenever the town reassesses the home, reappraises it, they'll go off current comps. Now, this could work in the opposite direction too. Back in the day when property values were going down, we had a lot of angry homeowners who were trying to fight with the towns to get their assessment down, their appraised value down. And what the towns would say is, we don't use today's value, we use the value at the time of the appraisal. And that can either be a benefit to you as a homeowner or a negative, depending on which way the market's going. But I think it's important to remember and understand as you're evaluating properties. Now, another key thing to note, this is West Hartford's mill rate, 40.92. Every town is different. I'm not going to get into what every town in Connecticut's mill rate is in this video. A lot of the suburbs are a little lower than West Hartford. And if you go into the city of Hartford itself, that's a lot higher, right? So West Hartford's kind of in the middle, or actually towards the higher end of a lot of towns here in Connecticut in terms of what their mill rate is. What you actually get with that, well, in West Hartford, part of that is your garbage removal. You get cans for recycling and garbage. That's included. Obviously, public schools. And what I would call responsive infrastructure and maintenance. We have a town center, town library, a couple town libraries, obviously police, fire department. And the town itself, in my opinion, is pretty good at keeping up with the streets and keeping up with the sidewalk repair, so that a lot of them are in very good shape. in my personal opinion. So I think they're pretty good with their infrastructure. Plowing, same thing. Obviously, it snows a lot here in Connecticut. They're pretty timely in getting the crews out there and getting the roads clear and side roads, et cetera, so that people can actually get to work on time. So, in my opinion, the mill rate holds a lot of value in this town as someone who lives here in terms of what you get for it. But wanted to kind of break that down a little bit here. So, the key thing to remember, assessed value is multiplied by the mill rate. That's how you get your taxes. And the assessed value is only 70% of the appraised value. If you have any questions about property taxes, real estate here in general, again, don't be shy. Some of this I know can get a little confusing. I kind of gave you the cliff notes and went pretty quick here. But if you want to dive in a little deeper, something's not making sense, please don't hesitate to call. We are all text, email. We are always happy to help. Make it a great day.